안녕하세요, 재림입니다. Hi everyone, welcome to Korean Dream, and this is Jay. Last week, we learned how to conjugate this 은대 는대 form and to use it within the sentence.
매운데 맛있어. 맛있어.
형, 짬뽕은 매운데 맛있다?
유실지뢰가 많은 곳이오. 내 도움 없이 거길 빠져나올 수 있을 것 같소?
알겠는데 거기서 얘기하시면 안 돼요?
This week, I'll introduce more advanced use of this 은대 는대 form. The first clause, subject plus verb, 은대 는대, and the second clause. And you can omit this second clause and end your sentence just with 은대 는대 and leaving the rest to the listener to infer and guess. And when you do that, there are different ways to use this 은대 는대. Let's look at them. 은대 는대 comes from 그런데, meaning but or however. So if you end it there, you can use it like but this is. So for example, you don't love me, right? 나 안 사랑하지. But I love you. 사랑하는데? So to disagree or reject what the other person's saying, you can use 은대 는대 because of its meaning of however or but.
형이 거기 짬뽕 좋아했잖아. 아닌데 네가 좋아했는데 네가 아닌데 네가 좋아했는데 네가 맨날 먹고 싶어 엄마 졸라갖고 엄마 맨날 그 짬뽕 사준 건데 매운데 맛있어.
형, 짬뽕은 매운데 맛있다?
In this clip, he stepped on the landmine and he goes, I don't have problem. It's all fine. It's all good. And she goes, but you have a problem. 일 있는데? Watch this.
내 지시 안 듣고 잘못 움직였다면 발목 나가는 수가 있어.
왜 그러세요?
일 없어.
일 있는데 무슨 일이?
일 없다지 않소.
This time, from the King Eternal Monarch, she says, you've never dated anybody, right? He disagrees with her accusation and goes, but I have.
연애 한 번도 안 해봤지?
아닌데? 해봤는데? 아닌데? 해봤는데?
So that's the first way to end your sentence just with 은대 and 는대. From that, there's a little different use of this 은대 는대 as well. Because it has that but or however meaning, you can show that you're surprised. So for example, you're cooking something and you're not sure, you're not confident how this tastes. So you can ask somebody, 어때? How is this? And that person can taste the food and go, oh, but it's good. You don't have to worry about this. 맛있는데? 좋은데? Another meaning when you end with 대 shows your hesitation. It comes from that meaning of however or but. So you have to tell the other person what they might not be happy to hear.
고문영 씨, 원장님이 보호자 면담을 좀 했으면 하시는데.
If your friend or somebody asks, let's go shopping, and you want to say, oh, I'm busy tomorrow, but how about Saturday, right? You can just end your sentence with, oh, but I'm busy tomorrow, ... And you are leaving it up to the other person to take up from there. And hopefully they'll say, oh, never mind, or oh, how about Saturday? So you can end your sentence there. So 내일은 시간이 없는데 ... I don't have time tomorrow, but ... So you are not finishing the sentence, you're leaving it up to the other person. So you can use this when you're rejecting. It's useful. So for example, somebody says, do you want to go have dinner with me? 저녁 드실래요? And you don't like this person. So you can say, oh, I'm busy. 바쁘다 changes to 바쁜데 ... Please say, okay, never mind. And the person goes, oh, how about weekend? 그럼 주말은 어때요? And you can say, oh, on the weekend I have something to do. 주말에는 일이 있는데요. ... So use this to reject. Let's say you're looking for your phone. 테이블 위에 내 폰 있어? Do you see my phone on the table? Oh, but it's not here. 없는데? So you can answer using 은데, 는데. When you're giving the answer, maybe the other person's not very happy to hear, then you can end with sentence with 은데 and 는데 and just leave it there. Another usage is if you ask a question with question words, such as what, when, where, why, 언제, 어디, 누구, 누가, 뭐, 어떻게, 왜. And if you ask a question using 은데, 는데 instead of regular 어요, 아요 form, it emphasizes your curiosity. Like, somebody's telling a story. You know, I met this guy yesterday, and you want to say, but who's that guy? But who is it? When he tells her about this girl he used to know that had similar eyes, she goes, but who is it? 그게 누군데?
당신이 내가 알던 누구랑 같은 눈빛을 갖고 있어.
그게 누군데? 그게 누군데?
And then she'll say, when is that? 그게 언젠데?
안 들어가?
진정되면 형이 알아서 열어줘.
그게 언젠데? 그게 언젠데?
1시간.
Question word 언제 or 누구 plus 이다, to be. But if the noun that comes before 이다 ends with a vowel like 누구 or 언제, because there is a space underneath, you'll just put 니은 underneath and then 대, 누군데, 언젠데. But what is it? 뭔데?
이러면 격했던 감정이 좀 진정될 거야.
이게 뭔데? 이게 뭔데?
나비포옹법.
There is a different usage of this 은데 and 는데, and it's this. I went to a supermarket yesterday, but wait, that's not all. I have a story to tell you. So you can start a story and give background setting using this 은데 or 는데. In this scene, this guy is telling a story about how he ended up in this mental institution. And he starts by saying, the name of this club, it's really hot these days, is Morning Sun. And then the story goes on. So he goes, Morning Sun인데, but that's not it. Let me tell you a story. So that's how you can tell a story.
아침에 뜰 때까지 놀아제끼는 클럽이라고 해서 모닝선인데 아니 요새 거기가 그렇게 핫하다고 하길래 내가 거기를 딱 떴거든? 물 좋고 음악 좋고 기분도 막 이렇게 올라오니까 내가 좋은 일 좀 했지.
I went to a coffee shop yesterday and I met my friend there. 어제 커피숍에 갔는데 친구를 만났어요. So we went to a dinner. 그래서 같이 저녁 먹으러 갔어요. So what you really want to tell is the story that comes after. But you're setting the context and the background.
다신 안 볼 거라서 하는 말인데. 다신 안 볼 거라서 하는 말인데. 얼굴 완전 내 취향이에요. 통일되면 우리 다른 식으로 봐도 좋을 듯?
어떤 사람이 높은 다리 위에서 뛰어내릴까 말까 그러고 있더군.
누가?
여자였는데 내 스타일이었어. 다가가서 사진을 좀 찍어달라고 했더니
아 됐어요. 뭘 그걸 또 그렇게 자세히 설명해.
You can use this to suggest something or tell the other person to do something and to give the reason for your suggestion or comment. For example, the weather's really cold outside. Why don't you put on a thicker coat? 밖에 날씨 추운데 춥다 has 비읍 underneath, so 비읍 changes to 우 and that 니은 대 추운데 instead of 추운데. 날씨 추운데 코트 입어. Put on a coat. And you wanna say, oh, I'm hungry. Can we eat first? You being hungry is the context here for you to suggest, let's eat first. 배고픈데 밥 먹자. So it gives the context of your suggestion or comment or question.
나 자네가 너무 보고 싶을 것 같은데 나랑 같이 가면 안 돼? 나 자네가 너무 보고 싶을 것 같은데 나랑 같이 가면 안 돼?
Okay, so today we studied this connective ending 은대, 는대 that you can also use as sentence ender when you just want to leave it there. First, original meaning is however or but. And from there, you can use it to give an answer the other person might not be very satisfied with, or reject by giving an excuse and just leave it there. Or you can also say, oh, but it's not, disagreeing. If you ask a question with the question words, not yes, no question, but what questions with 은대, 는대, it emphasizes your curiosity. But what is it? But who is it? And then you can tell a story using 은대, 는대. You can tell the background, setting, story setting. It's like picturing the place and the time before you tell what happened. So from there, you can also give suggestions and comments and give the context, the reason for your suggestion and comments with this 은대, 는대. Please feel free to ask any questions in the comments and I'll come back with more videos. 감사합니다. 안녕.